the greater trochanter is almost gone. On the left side, if you plan the left side, it's impossible to implant a straight stem without damaging the greater trochanter. Only if you use some curved stem, here in this case a short stem, you really can preserve the greater trochanter. Here's another case of mine. I did the alloclassic stem on the left side, which is in a varus position. I was not very satisfied. If you use an anatomically shaped stem, then you can reach a very good position and do not touch the greater trochanter at all. And also, the stress distribution is very equal in the anatomically shaped stems. So this stem, here are the design features, is an anatomically shaped stem where I tried to combine all the advantages of the very successful uncemented stems. Osseointegration, this is a case that I got from Milano. It was implanted, and then the patient received a periprosthetic fracture. They removed everything and changed it, and they sent the bone, the X-rays, and a little bit and the prosthesis to the university in Hamburg. And we found bone ingrowth after 1 year and histological very good ingrowth with vital bone on the surface of the prosthesis, and this is quite promising. What about our results? We did about 1,500, almost 1,500 SPCL stems at the moment. Young patients, 62 years in average, and the BMI is almost the same as you have heard from Luigi's talk, about 26. We had some complications, 3 infections, 4 dislocations, and 4 migrations, and 4 periprosthetic fracture in these 1,500 cases. The question is always, is it really stem-related or is it more surgeon-related? I show you 3 examples. Quite interesting case. I operate a lot of Russian patients in Hamburg, and the typical Russian patient is about 30, 35 years and has an aseptic necrosis of the hip. I call it always vodka necrosis. Very good patient, young and active. So I implanted him this stem, SPCL stem. After 4 days, I got a phone call that he was dislocated. I said, why? The position of the stem and the cup was not very bad. And the answer was, he visited on the fourth post-operative day, a special street in Hamburg, very close to the hospital, and during his activities there, he dislocated. So this is probably not really stem-related. So I did the other stem on the left side a little bit later, and he was a little bit more disciplinated, and that worked. Migration is an issue with all stems. Here is a migration of a CLS stem. I did a SPCL on the other side, and the stem migrated more than 0.5 centimeter, which is too much. Another case where I implanted it too small. It was in my learning curve, to be honest. Too small stem, and there was a heavy migration. I wanted to change the stem, but the stem was well fixed, so I just lengthened the head. Periprosthetic fracture, of course, we have seen 4 periprosthetic fractures. Here you see a typical case, quite young patient, worked very well until the 7th of July in 2014. We won again Brazil during the World Cup 7-1, and everybody celebrated and made big parties, barbecues and everything, and he was completely drunk and fall out the stairs. So this is also not really stem related. Intraoperative fissures, we have seen in 3 cases. Usually you can solve it with a cerclage. But the normal cases are really like this. Here, for example, this was a patient on the 4th spot. Not every patient is like this. We always show our best movies, of course, but this was on the 4th day, and this was done by a conventional, little bit shorter posterior approach and not by any other very modern and well-fashioned approaches. Or this approach, patient from Ukraine after 10 days. So you can even use it in quite difficult primary cases, as you can see here or here. These are our normal cases, and some patients are really crazy, as we all know. This is one of my craziest patients. He thinks he is still 25 and do some crazy things with SPL on both sides, and he always sent me his videos, and in the meantime, I'm a little bit bored about it. Okay, thank you very much.